Once you start working with symbols, you should be aware of the fact that you have a whole range of symbol drawing tools as well. Now I'm going to create a quick symbol from our favorite little cat here. So I go to the symbols panel and I drag and drop it into there. Now it can be set to dynamic, but in this case it can even be static. I'm just going to click on that. And notice that we have these default symbols in here, which by the way you can use in any of your projects. So think of them as like free clip arts. And you can find within the symbols panel in the libraries lots of other sets of symbols. So you can find useful things for maps, for example, and so on and so forth. So once again, these are like royalty-free icons or simple illustrations. But now that we have our symbol created, we can start experimenting with it. I'm even going to delete this instance, and instead I'm going to use these tools called symbol drawing tools, which you can find under the symbol sprayer. So because it has so many different versions, I like to click on this arrow here on the right, which if you remember creates this little tool palette. And we can start with the symbol sprayer first of all. Now, once again, from the symbols panel, my cat is selected. Now I can start drawing with it. So what happens is that we are spraying the symbol that we saved onto the canvas, and it creates a symbol set. So it's like a special grouping, again, similar to Live Paint. But it doesn't stop there, because what we can do now is to add a bit of variation into it. So we can switch to the second tool called Symbol Shifter tool. So once we feel like we have enough of our symbol instances, we can start shifting them around. It's almost like herding the cats in this case. So you can see I can move them around and decide where I want them. I can fill up the space in the middle a bit, and so on and so forth. Then I can also use this tool called Symbol Scruncher, with which I can draw them closer to a point. So imagine we put some food in there, they immediately start gathering. Or if you want to scare them away, you can hold down the Alt key or Option key, and the more you hold it down, the further the cats will go. The next one is called Symbol Sizer tool, with which again, if you keep holding on to an area, they are going to grow in size, and then if you hold down Alt or Option, they can get smaller. So Alt or Option is always doing the opposite what the tool would do normally. The next one is for spinning your instances around. You need to click and drag in the direction you wish to rotate them. So you can do a little bit more chaotic, randomized array of your instances. Something like that for now is good. And then comes my favorite one, the Symbol Stainer tool. Now with this tool you can change the color of your instances. So having a different color selected, I can click on areas where I would like to apply that color. Now once again, if I keep holding it down, the color can get stronger. If I just dab in an area, it will just mildly be mixed into the already existing color on those instances. So let's see this again in action. I'm going to switch to another color, maybe blue. I can click on these ones here. If I click again, it just gets stronger and gets closer to that color that I picked. Next tool in the set is the Symbol Screener tool, with which we can reduce the opacity. Once again, the more you click on an area, the more faded they get. And if you hold down the Alt key and click with that, you can increase the opacity. So you can have ghost cats and you can have real cats. And last but not least, you also have the Symbol Styler tool, which can work together with graphic styles and apply a certain graphic style to your instances. Remember graphic styles, we worked with these in the past. So I'm going to select one of them, maybe the dusk graphic style. And with that, I click on an area where that style is going to be applied. Let's try another simple one like the drop shadow. If I click on these instances here at the bottom, we will start to see the drop shadow on them. So it is added to all of those that I painted over. Depending on the complexity of the graphic style and the amount of instances you affect with it, it can take long. And as a general good advice, it's always good to keep saving, because you can easily crash Illustrator if you get carried away with these tools. And one last thing I wanted to mention is that once you are ready with your symbol set and you're sure that you don't want to use any of these symbol drawing tools anymore, then you can decide to expand it. So you would go to Object Expand, which means that you will be able to access each of these instances individually. Now at this point you are free to select any of these objects and move them around freely with the techniques that you are familiar with. So just simply using the selection tool, and then you can change its size and so on and so forth. But expanding your symbol set, of course, means that it won't be able to work anymore in the same way, and these instances won't react to the symbol tools anymore. So that's all I wanted to show you about symbols. I hope you found both of these videos useful. And now we can move on to our next topic, creating and working with graphs.